Hello and welcome to the Immersion series, episode 2. In this series, I will be discussing and showing some low-budget tools I use to create more immersion in games, as well as how to set the tools up for some different types of games. In episode 1, we discussed the use case for head tracking, and we proceeded to do the basic configuration for an affordable head tracking setup. In episode 2, we'll take a look at the last settings and fire up the head tracking system in a couple of games. Let's get into it. In order to start the head tracking, hit the paused button in the app to start transmitting the data. Then go to the software on the PC and hit the start button to start receiving the data. The tracker is now up and running and ready to be used. Before we launch a game though, there are a couple of keybinds that might come in handy. It's good to be able to recenter the head tracker as well as turning it on and off on the fly. While we are in the settings, I'll go through the other tabs as well. In case something isn't working right for you, maybe one of these settings could be helpful in your case. And with that, we're ready to start our first TrackIR supported game, Star Citizen: The Space Game. As soon as I sit down in the pilot seat, the head tracker activates. Star Citizen has a bunch of settings for head tracking. And as you see, I've set it to TrackIR and then also made sure that it's enabled, right? The general toggle. The yes and no buttons are mainly to determine in which situations you want the head tracking to be active. There is also a hotkey in the keybinds area in order to enable or disable the head tracking from within the game itself. Thanks to the TrackIR support, Star Citizen has a substantial number of axes available, including head tilting, and leaning forward without using the F key. I normally lock the strafing axis though, as you may find yourself outside of the cockpit glass. Next, we're going to switch to a profile that runs mouse emulation. This means that instead of transmitting the head coordinates via TrackIR, the head movement instead moves the mouse cursor, which in some games is tied to freelook. This allows us to use head tracking in a game that doesn't support it, and it works rather well. Some situations, such as this one, require some special tricks. This is something I will dive deeper into in another episode, but when you figure these things out, it really unlocks another level of immersion. Subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss upcoming episodes and more tools to improve games, and share the video so that we can experience games together in the best possible way. Have a good one, and I will see you soon.